Travel Survival Guide: 10 Tips for Surviving a Long Flight in Economy. A long-haul flight in economy can test your patience, comfort, and energy, but it doesn't have to leave you exhausted before your vacation even begins. The difference between a miserable 10-hour flight and a surprisingly manageable one often comes down to preparation. Choosing the right seat, packing a small comfort kit, staying hydrated, moving regularly, managing your sleep, and knowing what to keep within arm's reach can make a huge difference. Recent travel guidance continues to emphasize hydration, movement, strategic seat selection, and sleep preparation as some of the most useful long flight strategies. 1. Choose your economy seat like a pro. Your long flight experience can be determined before you even step onto the aircraft. In economy, every inch matters, so don't treat your seat selection as an afterthought. If you plan to sleep for much of the flight, a window seat can give you something to lean against and means you won't have to get up every time another passenger wants to leave. If you know you'll need to stretch, use the restroom frequently, or simply dislike feeling trapped, an aisle seat can be a better choice. Travel experts frequently recommend the aisle for long flights because it gives you easier access to movement. Condé Nast Traveler. Also, look carefully at the aircraft's seat map. Seats directly beside galleys and lavatories can experience more foot traffic, noise, and light. Exit row seats may provide additional legroom, but they come with eligibility requirements and may have other trade-offs. If you're willing to pay for seat selection, consider it an investment in comfort rather than an unnecessary expense. Spending a little before a 12-hour flight can be much more worthwhile than suffering through the entire journey in a seat you hate. 2. Build a small flight survival kit. Don't put everything you need into your overhead carry-on. Once you're seated, constantly opening the overhead compartment is inconvenient and can disturb other passengers. Instead, create a small personal item survival kit containing the things you'll actually use during the flight. Think headphones, phone charger, power bank, eye mask, earplugs, tissues, lip balm, moisturizer, medications, a water bottle, and any other essentials you personally need. Recent long flight guides similarly recommend keeping key items accessible and preparing a dedicated comfort setup before the flight begins. The trick is organization. Don't bring 30 things you might possibly need. Choose the items that solve your biggest problems. If you're flying overnight, prioritize sleep equipment. For a daytime flight, entertainment may matter more. If you're traveling with children, snacks and activities should be immediately accessible. Before the aircraft doors close, arrange your personal items so you won't need to keep reaching into your bag. That simple 5-minute setup can make the next several hours dramatically easier. 3. Don't wait until you're thirsty to drink water. Cabin air can leave many passengers feeling dry and uncomfortable during long flights, so hydration should be part of your flight routine. Instead of waiting until you feel extremely thirsty, drink water regularly throughout the journey. Recent travel advice emphasizes hydration as one of the basic habits that can improve comfort during long flights. AARP. A useful strategy is bringing an empty reusable water bottle through security and filling it afterward, where airport facilities allow it. That gives you a convenient container without depending entirely on beverage service. Don't go overboard, though. Drinking enormous amounts of water isn't necessary and can simply result in repeated bathroom trips. Alcohol deserves special consideration. It may make you feel sleepy initially, but it can interfere with sleep quality and contribute to dehydration. Several long flight guides recommend limiting alcohol while traveling. Coffee and energy drinks can also affect your sleep strategy, particularly if you're trying to adjust to a new time zone. The goal isn't to spend the entire flight drinking water, it's to stay reasonably hydrated while avoiding habits that leave you feeling worse when you land. 4. Move your body throughout the flight. Sitting in an economy seat for many consecutive hours can leave your legs, back, and neck feeling stiff. That's why movement should be part of your long flight routine. When it is safe and permitted, get up periodically and walk around the cabin. While seated, you can also perform simple movements such as ankle circles, foot pumps, and gentle calf contractions. Recent travel guidance recommends regular movement during long flights, and experts specifically emphasize reducing prolonged immobility. AARP. You don't need to turn the cabin into a gym. Small movements performed regularly are much more realistic. If you're sitting in an aisle seat, use the opportunity to stand when appropriate. If you're in a window or middle seat, consider doing seated exercises whenever practical. Travelers at higher risk of blood clots should speak with a healthcare professional before flying and follow individualized medical advice. The important point is to avoid spending the entire flight completely motionless. A few minutes of movement here and there can make you feel considerably less stiff when you finally leave the aircraft. 5. Stop trying to sleep the entire flight. One of the biggest mistakes passengers make is putting enormous pressure on themselves to sleep for 8 or 10 hours. The cabin isn't your bedroom. There may be crying babies, announcements, turbulence, meal service, bright screens, and passengers moving around you. Instead of demanding perfect sleep, create conditions that make rest easier. An eye mask can block unwanted light. Earplugs or noise-canceling headphones can reduce distractions. A supportive travel pillow can help prevent your head from repeatedly falling forward. Recent travel guidance also recommends preparing a sleep routine and managing light exposure when trying to adjust to a destination time zone. Travel plus leisure. If you're flying overnight, consider gradually shifting your schedule toward your destination before departure when practical. And don't assume alcohol or sleeping medication is the answer. Travelers should follow medical advice regarding any medication, and alcohol is not a reliable sleep strategy. The Australian. Even 2 or 3 good hours of rest can be useful. The goal isn't to force yourself unconscious. It's to create an environment where your body has the best possible chance to relax. 6. Dress for the cabin, not the airport. Looking stylish at the departure gate is one thing, sitting comfortably for 12 hours is another. Wear loose, comfortable clothing that allows you to move easily. Layers are especially useful because cabin temperatures can vary throughout a flight. A light sweater or jacket can become a blanket, while breathable clothing can prevent you from feeling overheated. Comfortable footwear is equally important. Your feet can swell during long periods of sitting, so extremely tight shoes may become uncomfortable. Some travelers also use compression socks during long flights, particularly when appropriate for their individual circumstances. If you have a medical condition or circulation concerns, ask your healthcare professional whether compression garments are appropriate for you. Travel experts consistently emphasize comfortable clothing and practical footwear for long-haul journeys. Travel plus leisure. One additional trick: avoid clothing with complicated buttons, belts, or accessories if you're trying to sleep. Your goal is simple: dress in something you could comfortably wear while sitting on a couch for an entire day. 7. Pack your own snacks strategically. Don't rely entirely on airline meal service to get you through a long flight. Meal timing may not match your appetite, and the food options available may not be what you want. Bringing suitable snacks gives you control over when and what you eat. Choose foods that travel well and don't create a mess. Depending on your dietary needs and the rules at your departure and destination, options might include nuts, crackers, granola bars, dried fruit, sandwiches, or other solid snacks. Avoid packing foods that are likely to leak, smell strongly, or create a mess inside your personal item. You also don't necessarily need to eat every meal simply because it's offered. If you're trying to sleep, you may prefer to keep your routine simple rather than waking yourself up for every service. At the same time, don't drastically change your eating habits just because you're on a plane. Recent long flight advice emphasizes simple, familiar food and avoiding excessive alcohol or very heavy meals. The best strategy is to think of food as fuel rather than entertainment. 8. Prepare your entertainment before takeoff. A 12-hour flight feels much longer when you spend half of it staring at the same entertainment screen because you didn't prepare. Download movies, television episodes, podcasts, music, audiobooks, games, or reading material before leaving home. Don't assume you'll have reliable Wi-Fi throughout the entire journey. Also download anything important before entering airplane mode. Bring wired or wireless headphones that you're comfortable wearing for several hours. If you use Bluetooth headphones, make sure they're fully charged. A power bank can also be extremely useful, although passengers should follow the airline's current requirements for carrying and using lithium battery equipment. Create different entertainment options for different parts of the flight. Maybe watch a movie during the first few hours, listen to music later, read for a while, and then attempt to sleep. The goal is variety. If you prepare everything before boarding, you'll spend less time fighting with slow internet or searching for something to watch. A little preparation can turn a long flight from an endurance test into several manageable blocks of time. 9. Protect your personal space. Economy doesn't give you much personal space, so you have to use the space you do have intelligently. Keep your most important belongings in your personal item and place that bag somewhere accessible without blocking your feet. If you're in an aisle seat, avoid allowing personal belongings to spread into the aisle. If you're in a window seat, organize your items so you can reach what you need without repeatedly disturbing your seatmate. Your armrests are another sensitive subject. Don't turn them into a battlefield. Basic courtesy goes a long way on a long flight. If you need to recline, consider the timing. During meal service, keep your seat upright when requested. If the passenger behind you is using a laptop, sudden reclining can create problems. Noise is another part of personal space. Use headphones instead of playing audio through speakers. The best economy passengers aren't necessarily the ones who get the most space. They're the ones who know how to use their limited space without creating unnecessary conflict. That can make the entire cabin experience more pleasant. 10. Break the flight into smaller stages. Here's perhaps the most important psychological trick. Stop thinking about the flight as one giant 12-hour block. Instead, divide it into stages. For example, the first stage might be boarding and settling in. The second could be dinner and entertainment. The third could be reading or watching a movie. Then comes your sleep period, followed by breakfast and preparation for landing. This makes the journey feel much more manageable. Trying to calculate how many hours remain every 20 minutes can make the flight feel endless. Instead, give yourself small goals. After this movie, I'll stretch. After the next meal, I'll try to sleep. After I wake up, I'll have some water and read. Recent long flight advice similarly emphasizes having a simple routine rather than trying to improvise everything during the journey. Fare radar. And remember, the goal isn't to love economy class. The goal is to arrive functional. If you can step off the plane hydrated, reasonably rested, physically comfortable, and mentally prepared for your destination, you've successfully survived the flight. Long flights in economy may never feel luxurious, but they don't have to be miserable. The biggest difference comes from preparation. Choose your seat carefully, keep essential items within reach, drink water regularly, move around when appropriate, dress comfortably, prepare entertainment, and create a realistic sleep routine. Most importantly, don't try to make the entire flight disappear at once. Break it into manageable stages and focus on staying comfortable one step at a time. With a little planning, even a 10, 12, or 15-hour economy flight can become far more manageable, and you can arrive ready to enjoy the destination instead of spending your first day recovering from the journey.